Hey, we're Anatomy's Angels, and today we're evaluating two hypotheses regarding heart rate. For both hypotheses, we received our data from self-response questions that were given to Miss Farnsworth's Bio 202 students at SCC.
Our first hypothesis stated people who don't exercise regularly will have a greater increase in heart rate after riding a bike than people who exercise regularly. We defined regularly as 3 to 6 hours or more per week.
We analyzed our data in Excel by comparing the average increase in heart rate of people who worked out 3 to 6 hours or more per week to the average increase in heart rate of people who worked out 2 hours or less per week. The graph we made summarized our results. Our data indicated that people who exercised between 0 to 2 hours a week had less of an increase in heart rate. On average, their heart rate increased by 34 beats per minute, whereas people who exercised 3 to 6 hours or more on average had an increase in heart rate of about 38 beats per minute.
Because this difference is minimal, we suspect that with a larger sample size and more stringent controls, we might see the results we anticipated. We believe that our hypothesis should have been supported because of what we've learned in this class. Exercise should reduce your resting and active heart rate because, like any muscle, the heart is conditioned with exercise. As the heart adjusts to the physical demands being placed on it in the form of anaerobic and aerobic exercise, it becomes stronger and therefore its contractions are more effective. Fewer contractions can now achieve the same result.
Our second hypothesis states that people who are chronic coffee drinkers will have a smaller change in heart rate after drinking a Coke than people who are not chronic coffee drinkers. We once again compared our data in Excel, finding that on average, chronic coffee drinkers had an increase in heart rate of 6 beats per minute when they drank a Coke, whereas those who did not regularly drink coffee had an increase in heart rate of about 10 beats per minute. This supports our hypothesis by demonstrating that people who did not regularly drink coffee were more affected by the caffeine in a Coke.
Although our hypothesis was only supported by a small difference, these findings are appropriate for what we've learned this semester about how the body builds tolerance and adapts to repeated stimuli by either upregulating or downregulating receptors for that stimuli's chemical signal. We read several studies to understand how chronic caffeine use causes upregulation of adenosine receptors because caffeine acts as a competitive antagonist for adenosine. It was very interesting to understand the reason behind something that has always seemed like just common knowledge. Thank you for your time.